Okay, so hello everyone. So welcome to Think Academy again. My name's Zhang Chu. Today we're going to be looking at the nonverbal reasoning again. Okay, so I can see lots of people are typing in the chat at the moment. Could I ask that everybody not type in the chat, please, unless it's about our questions, okay? So for all the guys that are still typing, could you please stop it so that we can all focus on the lesson for everybody, okay? Otherwise, I'm gonna make it so that you can't chat with anybody, okay? I'll tell you what, change that to that already. Okay, so yeah, as I said, yeah, so today we're going to be doing the second session of our nets, okay? And I hope that everybody, so last time I heard that everybody found it super easy and the stuff that I was talking about. So today, hopefully it's going to be a little bit more challenging and we'll do lots of practice of different nets questions, okay? So let's get started then. Okay. So yeah, again, when we're talking about nets, what we're thinking about is how do we unfold a cube, okay? And last time, I'm sure you guys all remember, we talked about these four different types: 1-4-1, 2-3-1, 3-3, and the 2-2-2 type. Now, last time, I'm sure everyone remembers, we talked a lot about how we solve questions which involve the 1-4-1 type of net. However, there are actually other types of nets that we can transform, okay? And so today, we're going to focus more on how to transform the 2-3-1 type, the 3-3 type, and the 2-2-2 type, okay? So today is going to be a little bit more complicated than last time, but it's still going to use some of the same skills, okay? So I hope everybody was paying attention last time, and today we're going to look at how we're going to use some different skills to transform our nets. So here is the first rule then. So when we rotate faces, if there is a side to receive the face, then we're allowed to rotate it, okay? And I'll show you guys what I mean by this rule. So this is our 1-4 again. And if we remember, so if I draw an up arrow here, how do we transform this face, okay? If people want to type in the chat now, they can type it to me. How should we transform this face? Do people remember? Wait for some responses. Yeah, I can see lots of people are getting it. Yeah. Yeah, 90 degrees is the key here, exactly. So to transform this face from position 1 into position 2, we're going to rotate it 90 degrees, okay? And where does that take us then? So which way, oops, not very good square. Which way is our face, or which way are we going to be facing now? Which way do you think? Everyone can type it to me again. Yeah, so we're going to be up, left, down, or right. Yeah, lots of people are getting it. Yeah, so imagine we're going to take this, which is pointing upwards. Imagine my pen is the arrow, and it's going to go like so. It's going to go whoop, okay? So it's going to be facing left, okay? Whoops, like this, okay? Lots of you have got it right. So that's how we're going to transform a face like this. Oops. And we can do that one more time into the third position. So if we do it one more time, what's going to happen? It's going to be facing down. Okay, this is the same stuff that we covered last time. And finally, to get it in the last position, it's going to turn once more, and this time it's going to be right. So everyone can see that we're just going to be rotating 90 degrees each time, okay? So what about from here? So imagine that this face is here, and I want to turn it one more time, okay? Is this possible? What do people think? Am I allowed to turn it one more time? Yeah, is it either so yes or no? Give me yes or no, guys. Yeah, lots of people are saying no. And you're absolutely right. We can't turn it one more time. Because if we try to turn it one more time, what happens then? So the face would go here. Now this isn't right, because this isn't, there's no face which receives it. There's no side, sorry, which can receive this face. It's only hanging on by one little corner, okay? So when we're talking about faces, we have to make it so that it's, when it rotates onto the, onto another side, okay? So this one is incorrect. We're not allowed to rotate it like this, okay? So does everybody understand? Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Okay, let's see. Guys, okay, so now let's move on then to the second step, which is actually, even if we have just one, even if we are rotating, we can actually rotate multiple faces in one go, okay? And how do we do this? So we say if the faces are adjacent, they can be rotated together, okay? Now, what does that mean? If they are adjacent, does everybody know what this word adjacent means? Does anybody type to me what does adjacent mean? Yeah, everybody knows it. Wow, everyone's English is super good as well. Okay, so adjacent, this word, whoops, daisy. So adjacent, this word, it just means next to or touching. Okay, next to, or it can also be touching. Okay, so let's just have a quick look then. So everybody here, is face A and face B, are these two faces adjacent with each other? Okay, let's have a look. Do people think it's yes or no? Yeah, absolutely right. Everybody's getting this right. They are definitely adjacent because they're touching. Okay. Oh, my presentation's not being very nice today. What about if I have face A and face B? Are these two faces adjacent or not? Okay. Lots of people saying no again. Yeah, lots of people saying no. And why aren't A and B adjacent? Well, let's have a think. So last time, do you remember I taught you guys about how to work out if faces were opposite or not? And I said, so the faces are opposite if what scenario? So one of the scenarios was if there were 3 in a row. The other scenario, can everybody remember? It was this Z shape, okay? And actually this Z shape can also be flipped. So that means that A and B are actually opposite faces here in this one, which means that they're not adjacent, okay? Does everybody understand that? A and B are opposite. Yes, good. So I'll just write here, this is the opposite faces. Now then, here's a slightly trickier question, okay? Is A and this B, are these two touching? Are these two next to each other? This is a slightly trickier question, might just need a little bit more thought. Oh, lots of people saying yes. Okay, but A and B are so far away from each other. How could they be adjacent? Okay, well, let me show you guys how we're going to transform this one. Okay, so remember now that this is what we call a 2-2-2 type of net, right? There's two faces in each row. So how are we going to transform this? Well, we want to transform it into something which looks like a 1-4-1, okay? Because that's the easiest type of nets to do. So how should we transform it then? So let me call this one, I don't know, up arrow, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two faces. I'm going to take A and up arrow face, okay? Because these two are definitely adjacent. They're definitely touching, so I can rotate them together, okay? And where am I going to rotate it? I'm going to rotate it on this corner, okay? So if everybody imagines, I'm going to take the two of them together, and on the top corner, I'm going to rotate it around, okay? So that means that, so that corner is this one I've marked in red. And what is going to happen is that I'm going to have, it's going to take the two and it's going to rotate them around, okay? So now, which way is the arrow facing? Well, I think that I've rotated it like this. So instead of pointing upwards, it's going to be pointing this way, okay? So it's going to be pointing this way. And similarly, the letter A is now going to be here, okay? So everybody hopefully understands that. And so this one, can you see then, it's actually a lot easier for me to check whether if A and B are adjacent or not. So how do I check this? Well, it means that I can move this face A and move it to the top, remember? Because this is now within the 4 in the middle, okay? So if A is here, then when I put these two together, A and B are actually touching, okay? So that is how we rotate multiple faces together to transform, for example, a 2-2-2 net into a 1-4 net, okay? And we're going to do lots of practice of this in a second. So don't worry if you don't totally get it right now, we'll do lots of practice later. Now then, what about this one? So can everybody type in the chat, what type of net is this on the left? What type of net do we call this? Anybody know? 1-1-3-1. Yeah, I'm seeing 1-3-2. Sorry, I'm seeing lots of 1-3-2s. Yeah, 1-3-2, 2-3-1, whichever order you like. We have 1 on the first layer, 3 in the middle layer, and 2 on the bottom layer. Okay, so I'm going to start labeling some. So if I say A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, now I want you guys to try and tell me which faces should I rotate, maybe separately, maybe together, to make this into a 1-4-1 sort of net. Okay, so for example, if you guys are typing A to me, you think that if I move A, if I rotate A, that means I can make a 1-4-1. Okay. Lots of people are giving me answers. Okay, yeah, this is really good. Good. Okay, so actually there are 2 correct answers here. Okay, so let's have a look at them. Either we can move E and F, or we can just move F. Okay, so let's start with just moving F. How should we do that? Well, I see that F is here, and it is and which side can receive it? If I rotate it 90 degrees, well, I can see that I can rotate this one upwards like that. Okay, so if I rotate it up, it's going to come here. Which way is it going to face then? So I think it should face something like this. Okay, so now this one is, imagine this one's not here anymore. What do I have? And I'm going to do this in blue now. I have 1, 4, and because only E is left on the bottom, I have a 1-4-1 type of net. Okay, so everybody who said F, really well done. Very, very clever. Okay, now then, what about E and F? Okay, so if I take a look at E and F, so let's actually do this totally different color. In purple, that's fun. So actually, sorry, I'm just going to rub this one off so everybody can see correctly. Okay, so this is F here. So if I take E and F, and I look, which way can I rotate it? Well, I can either rotate it upwards again, but that's a little bit trickier to see. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees towards the middle. Okay, so I've got this one on here. It's going to be, because I'm going to rotate it on this corner. So I'm rotating it on this corner. So from here, it's going to do this. So then I'm going to have E and F, which look like that. And remember B, C, D, and A. Okay. So now again, what do we have? We have 1, we have 4, and we have 1. Okay. So there are lots of different ways actually that to rotate this 1-3-2 net to become a 1-4-1 net. Okay, and lots of you guys might be asking me like, oh, well, which one should I do? Which one's better? It depends question by question. Okay, because remember, sometimes it might be better to try and move, for example, E next to C, but sometimes it might be better to move D next to F. Okay, or F next to D, sorry. So it really depends on each question which face we should rotate to get to the other one. So I'll show you guys some practice questions now that we can do together, and we're going to practice all the skills that we've learned. So all the skills that we learned in the other session, for example, opposite faces, but also using some of this more complicated transforming nets skills as well. Okay, so I hope everyone can see this question. So which cube can be made from the given net? Okay, now I'm going to give everybody 5 minutes. Okay, it's a long time, I know, but I don't just want the right answer, but I want you guys to be able to say the reason why every single other one is incorrect. Okay, so we'll give everybody 5 minutes and then we're going to go through it together. Okay. Wow, I can see lots of you are giving me loads of answers already. Looks like you guys are so good at these types of questions. See lots and lots of correct answers. Well done, guys. So we're just gonna give everybody lots of time. Make sure that you can think about why each one is either correct or incorrect. Okay. So we'll just give everybody a bit more time. Okay. Wow, so many of you are giving me the correct answers already. You guys are so quick today. Going to get started, okay? So I'm going to go through every single possible one and let's see if they are correct or incorrect. Let's do it together, okay? So I'm going to start from A. So from A, let me have a look. Let's see, what color should we use? Should we use red? So, question A then. So what do we see we have here? We have 2 different kinds of the kind of diagonal slanty lines, and we have a cross in the other line, okay? So 2 which are slanted and 1 cross. So what should we do then? Well, let's look at our nets, right? I can see that a cross and a slanted line are already touching. So if I'm just gonna, this is from the original net, so anything in red is the transformed version from the original net. What should I do then? I'm gonna rotate this shape up by 90 degrees. And why can I do that? It's because I can, there's a side to receive this space, okay? And which way is it going to be facing? Well, I can see that this angle this point is on the right. So then it's going to rotate. If everybody just wants to like turn their head, it goes like that. So it's just going to rotate upwards like this. And what do we see here? Well, in our cube A, can you see that the two diagonal lines are touching here? But clearly, these two diagonal lines aren't touching. That means A is definitely incorrect. Okay? Now let's look at B then. So B has this T shape, a slanting shape, and a fully filled in side. Okay? So first of all, what can I see? What can I see? I can see that from my original net, one of the slants and one of the filled in shapes, these two are opposites. Because I can see that there's these three here, okay? And remember that the one on the left and the one on the right are opposite to each other. So that means if this was correct, this top face must be the other diagonal face that we have here, okay? So I'm just gonna make sure that my board is nice and clean. Okay, so the question is now, how are we gonna transform this face to be next to the black and the T faces? So what we can do is I can rotate one of my faces. So I'm going to do the same trick. I'm going to rotate it up, just like in part A, so that it's going to come here and it's going to look like this. And then remember, everybody, what do we do when we have 4 in a row? We can move one from the first position and put it in the last position. So that means that the original net is going to look like this. It's going to have a dark on the top, a T, and then because I've moved it across, it's going to have the diagonal slant like so. So the question is this one the same as the net in B? Well, let's have a look. Let's open up the net in B, right? And let's open it up with the filled in face in the middle. Then the one on top of it is going to look like this. And it's going to have one to the left of it, which is going to look like this, okay? So now, if everybody wants to try and imagine, just really try and imagine rotating this one in blue, does it become the same as the one in red? Okay, can people type in the chat? Is this the same? What do people think? Yeah, so many people have got it already. Well done, guys. Yeah, so these two are not correct, okay? Absolutely right, they are incorrect because if you imagine you rotate this one, you can see that the rotations of all the faces are not right, okay? So now let's have a look. What about C then, okay? Lots of you guys were answering that C was the correct answer, so let's check. So C we see has a cross, a diagonal, and a T. So let's give that a go. Let's see if we have a cross from our original net. Where can we go from? We have a cross here, and we have a diagonal slanted one to the left of it. Okay, so if we have these two, which one are we missing there? Well, we're missing the T face, which is on the right. So how should we get this one? Well, I can see the T is very close to the cross. So this one, I can imagine rotating it to be on top of it. Okay, we can rotate it 90 degrees because everyone can see that there is a face, there is a side to receive it. And what is the orientation of this going to be then? Well, it's going to be like this. So it's going to be pointing, the T is almost like pointing upwards. Okay. What should we do now? So now we should try and open the net of C and see if it's the same. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to go back to blue. So remember, everyone, blue is these ones. These ones are the ones in blue that I've opened up, and the red ones are the transformed version of the original net. Okay, so if I open it with the cross in the middle, I'm going to have the diagonal slant like this, and I'm going to have the T shape like this. Okay. Oh, is that correct? Sorry, no, it isn't. This slant is in the wrong place, isn't it? It should be slanted like this. Okay. So now if everybody imagines that you rotate this shape, what do we find? Oh, look, the one in red and the one in blue are actually the same. So that means that these two absolutely are correct. C is the correct answer here. Okay. But like I said before, I want everyone to be able to look at every single one and give me the right reason why it's not right. So now let's look at D. Okay. So D, again, has the black face, the cross, and the T. Okay. Well, I can see already in my original net, there's a black face, a T, and a cross. Okay. And what do I see is that when I put these together, the T should be facing away from the cross, right? And everyone can see that. But this one, can you see that the T, this one is actually facing towards the cross? So again, the rotation isn't correct. So I'm just going to write here, rotation is not correct. So if the rotation isn't correct, then clearly these two aren't right, okay? So this is another trick that we can do sometimes. If we are very, very good at just like visualizing these things, then we can cancel them out immediately, okay? Using something that we call your intuition, okay? And the more nonverbal reasoning questions that you do, the better intuition that you guys are gonna have. So it's really important that you do lots of practice, okay? Because you'll be training your intuition to be able to see which one is the correct answer or not. Okay, sorry. Finally then, let's look at E. So in E, what do we have? We have the equal sign, we have the diagonal slant, and we have the cross. Okay. And again, what we see here is that we already have these three shapes together. So we have an equal sign, a diagonal slant, and the cross, like so. But this one has a slant in the middle. So let's open our original net and see if we can find it. What do we have? We have a diagonal slant which looks like this. On the right side, sorry, it's going to be the equal sign. Above it is going to be the plus sign. Okay, so if everyone imagines now, we're going to rotate this one. Is this correct? What do people think? I think I have put the lines the wrong way, haven't I? Which one have I put the wrong way then? Ah, sorry. This one here. These two, sorry, should be facing this way. Yeah, sorry guys. It looks like I haven't been practicing enough nonverbal reasoning now. So yeah, because when I open it up, remember this side face is going to flip outwards like that. Sorry. So it should look like this. Okay, so now this is correct. Now we can see that when we rotate it, actually it's not the same shape. So this one is also incorrect. Okay, this one's wrong. Okay, so now that's how to do this question. So we can circle that C is correct. So now we have another question here, okay? And this one, then this time is a 2-2-2 type of question. So I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes then, let's say 3 to 4 minutes, and I want you guys to try the same thing. So try and not just give me the correct answer, but give me a reason why all the other ones are incorrect. Okay? So I hope everyone is ready to do lots of practice. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, lots of you guys are giving me lots of different answers this time. So this time it looks a little bit trickier. Helen, what time does the lesson end? It should be at 5 p.m. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, lots of answers coming in now. Guys, if you could just type the answer once for me. I'm looking at all the answers. Okay, don't worry. If you just type it once, I can see everything. Don't worry. Okay, lots of people are saying they can't see the screen. Sorry. I hope everyone can see it now. Okay, sorry, let me try and share it again. Share screen. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see the screen now. Is that okay? All right, guys, I'm getting lots of mixed responses. So I think people should be able to see my screen, okay? Right. If you can't see it, maybe try I'm not too sure what to try actually. I see lots of people can see the screen, so I'm not going to mess around with it too much. Right. Okay, so that's I've given you guys 4 minutes so far. So just one more minute, guys. See if you can try and get the correct answer. Okay. Guys, if you can't see the screen, maybe try leaving and then rejoining the lesson. Okay. Okie dokie. So let's try and go through this together then. See, lots of people have already given me the right answer. So it's really good. It's good to see you guys are getting to grips with these types of questions then. So let's start with cube A. Let's have a look. So cube A has one face with the 3 dots diagonally. It has one face with 3 dots going horizontally. And it has one face which has a downwards arrow, okay? So this is kind of tricky now, isn't it? Because I see one of the faces is here, one of the faces is here, one of the faces is here. So how am I going to put these together? I'm really not sure until I think about the techniques, okay? So what was step 1? Everyone remember? It was eliminate the cube if it's impossible. Well, I've already seen that I have all 3 faces, so it's definitely not impossible. Step 2 then was checking for opposite faces. Now, what can I see here? Oh, look, I can see that there's a Z shape here. With one of them is the 3 dots, and then there's the arrow, the little cross, and the other 3 dots. So what does that mean? That means that the 3 dots, both the faces with 3 dots are opposite, okay? These 3 and these 3 are opposite. And remember, opposite sides, what can't they do? They can't touch. So now that means that clearly, because A has got 2 sides which are touching, this one is incorrect, okay? So always a really good skill to remember, guys, is to make sure that you check for opposite faces. It can really help you out later on. What about option B then? So option B has a black square, 3 dots diagonally, and an arrow. So I'm not too sure which arrow it is. It could be this one or it could be this one. Okay, I'm not certain. So how should we try and transform this? Well, I can see that this black square is super far away from these 3 dots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this trick. I'm going to rotate multiple faces at one time. And how am I going to rotate them? I'm going to rotate them along this corner, and I'm going to rotate these 2 squares. Okay, and hopefully it'll be clear to you guys why I'm going to rotate those 2 squares first. So then what I'm going to get is I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle, 1 on the left here in the 3rd position, and 1 on the right in the 4th position. And remember that I can only rotate this one 90 degrees because there's a side to receive it. It's not just going to be going somewhere in space. Okay. So what's it going to look like then? So these faces are going to now be rotated like this. So hard to do these drawings. Then the cross is here, the arrow is here, these 3 dots are here, and the up arrow is like that. Okay, and now I'm going to move one more time. I'm going to move this arrow face down, and I'm going to do the trick with the 4 in the middle, because now look at what do I have, guys? I have a 1, 4, 1 net. So I have 4 in the middle, so I can move this one down to the bottom as well. So that's now going to become, so I'm only going to focus on the one with the 3 dots in the middle. So 3 dots, then this one is going to face upwards. This one is going to face upwards, and it's going to have a black square, black square on the bottom. Okay, really hard to draw these different shapes. Okay, and now what should we do then? Let's open up our cube for B, okay? So let's open it with the 3 dots in the middle. 1, 2, 3. And above it is going to be the shaded black square. And on the right of it is going to be the up arrow. So can we find this net in this transform net? What do people think? Can we find this one? Yes or no? Yeah, so many of you already, very, very quick. Well done, guys. So absolutely right. We can't find it. And instead of rotating it this time, I'm going to do a little trick. I'm going to look at it instead. I'm going to look at it and say, look, the arrow should be pointing towards the same direction that the square is in. But if I look at my transformed one, what do I see? Both my arrows are actually pointing away from the square. So definitely this one, I can't find it. Okay. So this one, we've used lots of skills here, haven't we? What did we do first? First, we rotated the two faces together, and then I used some tricks to rotate the middle 4 and the sideways one as well. So lots of different skills have been used in this question to make sure that B is incorrect. Okay. So what about C now? Let's have a look at C. Okay. So with C, we have the cross in the middle, which is being pointed at, and 3 horizontal dots. Okay. So if I look at my original, I already have a cross, the cross. Oh, that's not a square at all. Sorry, guys. It definitely already has the cross and the arrow, which is it's being pointed to. Now then, where are the 3 horizontal dots? Well, I can see in part B that I can shift the 2 shapes to be above it. So already I can see that there should be 3 horizontal dots like this. Okay. So let's open up our shape and see if it's possible. So if I open it up with the X in the middle, then I'm going to be pointing at it like this. And the one on the right is going to do something like this. Right, guys? Have I opened that one up correctly? Let me just check. I think so. Okay. So, oh, hang on, let's just see what do people say. I think I might have opened this one up incorrectly. Hang on. Okay, so what does this work? If I try and rotate it, is this going to work? I'm not sure. Oh, I see why now. It's because I haven't actually fully rotated my original one. Because, silly me, there's two arrows that I need to check, okay? Because what happens if I take this face and rotate it through as well? What happens, guys? Well, I'm going to have a second arrow face, which is actually pointing towards it as well. So this is a really good reminder that we need to check every single one. If there's two of the same kind, we should try and move them both. Because now, when I rotate it upwards, I find that actually, yes, I can find the blue one within the red one. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Okay, now then, D, I'm going to use my intuition skills again to make sure that it's not right. And how can I use my intuition skills? Well, there's two different ways that I can do this. First of all, I can say that, look, there's an arrow which is pointing towards the three dots, okay? So it's pointing towards the three dots. And in my net, what do I have? In my net, I can see that the arrow, which is touching it, is already definitely not pointing towards the three dots, not in the same line. So the question you might ask is, well, how about this one then? Is this arrow going to be the one which is going to be pointing towards it? Well, definitely not, okay? And how can we be sure? It's because we can rotate it. We can imagine we rotate it and what's going to happen? Well, if I start with the cross as my middle one, I can see that when I rotate it up one, it's going to have three dots like this. And then I'm going to rotate this arrow up as well. So it's going to be pointing towards the cross. And if I do it one more time, which way is it going to be pointing now? It's going to be pointing downwards. So again, my arrow is not pointing at the three dots. So this one is again definitely incorrect. Okay? Oh, we're nearly there, guys. Finally, E. So E has two arrows that are both pointing towards the square with the cross in. However, what can I find? Well, again, I can find a Z shape. Ooh, and I'm going to highlight it here in red. Here's a Z shape. And I see the one on the left and the one on the right are the ones which should be opposite, which means that my arrow faces must be opposite each other. So that means they can't be touching. In E, they are touching. So then this one is not correct either. Okay? So I hope everybody understood that. Yeah, absolutely right. People are saying they can't touch, arrows are opposite. Really, really good, guys. Okay. So this, can you see it's getting a little bit harder now? Every single one, you have to really think about which one you're moving, okay? In that case then, let's do one more question together. Now this one, another type that we haven't seen yet is a 3-3 type of question, okay? You can see there's 3 on the top row, 3 on the bottom row. So I'm going to give everybody just let's do 4 minutes, okay? Everybody gets 4 minutes to try and figure out this question. And then afterwards, we'll go through it together and see what we can learn from this question then, okay? Wow, some of you guys are so quick. This took you 1 minute. You've already given me the answers. So good, guys. Remember, everyone, I just want you to type your answer once, please, because then I can have a look and I can try to see everybody's answers, okay? Thank you, guys. Okay, everyone, I'm going to give a countdown to 2 more minutes, everyone, okay? So if you haven't managed it yet, don't worry, you've still got a bit of time. Everybody else, make sure that you can justify why it can't be all the other ones as well, okay? So make sure you know the reason why it's not A, why it's, or maybe it is A, I'm not sure. Maybe I just gave a little hint there, okay? But make sure you guys know the reasons for all the other ones, okay? Okie dokie. So, I am going to now go through how to do this question, okay? And let's try to do it in the most efficient way possible, okay? So I'm going to try to do it in a very smart way. I'll show you guys, okay? So let's start with A, as we always do. So we can see that T is touching what? The black square and the tennis ball square, okay? And I see that T and the black square are definitely already touching and they're in the right orientation because T is facing the black square. Okay, so that's a good start. But where should we go from here? Well, one thing I can see is that the black square, this one, and this one, this tennis ball shape are definitely opposite to each other, okay? So that means that I definitely can't transform this opposite square, sorry, I definitely can't transform this square to be touching. So the only one I can move then should be this one. So how should I move this one? Well, I think that I need to get it's closer to T, right? So if I take these two shapes, and I rotate it along, oh, no, I can't rotate it along this edge, sorry. I'm going to rotate it along this edge, right? Because there's a side to receive it. I remember I'm going 90 degrees, so there is a side to receive it. Oh, actually, lots of people have, oh, sorry. Lots of people have actually already spotted that I don't need to move it at all because I just realized that the T and the tennis ball are also opposite each other. So that means that there definitely can't be an instance where a tennis ball shape face is touching T and the black shape, okay? So this one's wrong because of opposite faces. Okay. What about part B then? Well, B, we can see there's two little square faces which are touching. And again, I noticed that I have my Z shape here. Okay. And now this Z shape, remember the one on the left, the one on the right are opposite as well. So this one then can't be touching again. Again, we say this is opposite faces. It's wrong. How about C this time? So now looking a little bit trickier, right? Because we have a T and we have two tennis ball faces. So actually, no, this one's not tricky at all. Why? Because we know that T and one of the tennis ball faces, is opposite to T. So if both of them are there, that means they're both touching T. So again, opposite faces means that this one is not correct. Oh, okay. This one we can do really, really quickly, it looks like. What about D then? Oh, okay. Again, D is super, super obvious, guys. Why is it obvious? Because I can use my intuition. I see that, again, the black square and the T have to be in this order. So that means that the top of the T is hitting the black square. But in my net of D, the T is actually going downwards into the black square instead. So again, we're going to do this one kind of using our intuition skills. Wow. Okay, so we've cancelled out A, B, C, and D. That means that E must be the correct answer. Okay, well, let's try show it at least. So that means that, what do I need? I need a T, a tennis ball shape, and a little black square. So a T, a tennis ball shape, one of these two, and a little black square, one of these two. Now I know it can't be this tennis ball shape on the left because that one and T are opposite. Okay, so I can see very clearly that I'm not going to use this one, but instead I'm going to use these three which I've highlighted. And how should I move it? Well, I'm going to take my 2 like this, and I'm going to rotate it along this point 90 degrees because there's a side to receive it. Okay, so then my transform net is going to look like this. It's going to have a T, little black square, it doesn't matter about the orientation. And the tennis ball shape is going to do what? It's going to do this. Okie dokie. So now let's open up on E, okay? So on E, we have, and we're going to open it with the little black square in the middle. And then to the left of it, sorry, is going to be this T shape. And above it is going to be the tennis ball shape. Okay. Now, what does everyone think? Okay, I think actually we should have rotated it once more, right? Looks like it's in the wrong order right now. Let's see what's happened here, guys. Can anyone help me out? Why is the T in the middle? Flip it. So we're not allowed to flip it. Let's have a look then, shall we? Okay, so I have the black sweat. So I rotated this one down. I should have been able to, if I turn it twice, it's giving me the wrong one. I'm a little bit stuck here, guys. Yeah, there are 2 little black cubes. Everyone's right. I turned the tennis ball the wrong way. Wow, it looks like my spatial skills aren't very good today. Can't see where I've gone wrong here. Okay, let's try to do it again. Okay, I think I've still got a little bit of time. So let's just try it one more time. Okay, I'm gonna cancel everything out here. So we're looking at E, okay. So what do we have? We definitely have a T shape, a little black square, and the tennis ball shape, okay? So actually, oops, I'm going to make it so that when I transform it, I'm going to keep in the other little black square as well. So they have the T, the little black square, and then I'm going to rotate this other two down like that. And then this one is going to look like this, which means that once I rotate it one more time, whoops, sorry guys. Yeah, once I rotate it one more time, it's going to look like this. Okay, so this is the shape that we're trying to find. This is what we're trying to find. So now let's put the T in the middle, okay? So if we put T in the middle, upside down, it has a little black square here, and it has the tennis ball on top of it. Ah, okay, so now what will happen if I rotate the blue shape upside down, I can actually find it here. Okay, so again, I was very silly and I forgot to count that there were two black squares. Okay, so you guys have got to be better than me. Okay, you've got to remember that you have to do all the different types of shapes just to be sure. Okay, just to be sure. Okay, so that means this one's E. Okay, so we don't have time to do the last question, unfortunately. But that one's quite easy. So I just want to do a quick summary for everybody, okay? So the summary is like this. First of all, what did we do today? We looked at some more transformation rules, and there were two different rules that we had. So the first one is, if there is a side to receive a face, we can rotate it, okay? And it has to be received. We can't just leave it hanging by one corner. And remember that only 90-degree rotations are allowed in one go, okay? The second one is that if two or more sides are adjacent, we can rotate them at the same time. So just like last time, we can put the two of them together and we can rotate them at the same time. And this will make solving the questions way quicker. Okay, and so what order should we use to solve questions then? So the first one is we use our quick methods to see which of the answers are obviously wrong. So remember the first step, impossible cubes. The second step, opposite faces. And sometimes we can even use our intuition to cancel out some of the steps. And here's a really nice hint. So after that, what do? Is we then transform the nets within the questions and then transform the original nets. So all of those transformation rules that we were doing, we only do that at the end. And what is my top tip for this set of questions is that it's always easier to change nets into the 1-4-1 format, the one that we're most used to, because for me, I can really picture in a much better way what they're going to look like. Okay, so it looks like we have come up to time. So sorry, I just got one question from Christine. Which 90 degrees do we turn? You can turn whichever 90 degrees you like, as long as there is a side to receive the face. Okay, so I'll just do a little demonstration here. So as long as you have, so for example, if we have something like this, and we have the shape in the middle, so we can either rotate it 90 degrees left or 90 degrees right, as long as there's a side, which is going to receive it, we can rotate it either way, okay? So when can we not rotate it either way is if we have this, right? Because if I rotate it right, so rotate it clockwise, that's okay, there's a face to receive it. If I try and rotate it left, there's nothing to stop it, okay? So that's when we can't do something like that. So we can rotate either way. Okie dokie. So that's all for today. There is going to be a recording don't worry. So I hope everybody had fun today doing some non-verbal reasoning questions.